back to Brotherly Beliefs, Faith, Family, and Fun. I'm Malik.
And I'm Tristan. Join us for another candid conversation about life tapestry. From the faith that binds us to the family that shapes us, to the pure fun woven in every moment. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's dive into the heart of our stories in an incredible episode of Brotherly Beliefs. How is Malik Little doing?
Man, I'm doing all right. You know what I mean? Got 2 kids. I'm set up to get a vasectomy here soon. Still working a full-time job. You know what I mean? Still gradually gaining more clientele for my business. You know what I mean? And if I've ever done anything for you guys, I appreciate you guys for trusting me, you know, with your vision, making it come to life. And slowly getting to where I want to be.
So here's a food for thought, right? Because your plan is to move away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're building clientele here.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to start all the way over.
Yeah.
When I get to Florida. But I'm okay with that. At least I'll have a portfolio here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And you can always come back.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Is if it is not what you want it to be, you always have the option to just turn and come home.
Yep. How's Tristan doing?
Life is something else, man.
I hear you.
Life is I'm in the middle of a storm, man.
Yeah.
And got God, man. That's it. God got me. That's what I tell myself every day when I wake up.
Yeah.
God got it. Here's a good question for you. All right? Because this is what I've been struggling with lately. My flesh, right? It's like this fight with control, that's really what it is. It's just I'm in a battle with myself to completely let go and just let God have it, and just give it to God, you know. But at the same time, we're also talking about livelihood. You know what I mean? And so, at what point does free will and giving it to God, you know what I mean?
All right, yeah.
At what
Because
point?
you can't just sit and do nothing. You know what I mean? There's definitely a balance between the two, and the Bible always says God helps those who helps themselves as well.
Yeah.
And helps others, of course. But I don't know. I guess it's the part of not letting it stress you or control you. You know what I mean? Just do the best that you can, and just pray and just Lord, I give it to you. All the stress that I'm feeling, all the worrying that I'm feeling, I give it to you, and I know that you're gonna make a way.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just faith is a constant battle, man. You're always constantly trying to get closer to God, be closer to God, man. And so that's where I'm at right now. It's just my journey of faith wise. I'm just at the point where give up that control and give up that allow God to just place his hands on it and take me in the situation where it needs to go, man.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, have you still been watching church?
No, but I've been reading my book. Yesterday, well, I should say yes, but no. Sunday I did not. Sunday before I did, and I had been. But this Sunday, I was asleep. I find myself very tired lately. And me and Caitlin kind of talked about this. I've been in this funk lately, man. I don't know what it is. There's just a whole lot of things. I don't know, man. And the best way I can describe it is, I hate my job. I'm becoming to hate it's coming to the point where I hate my job and I hate going to work, and so now it just feels like a chore to do so. And then
what makes you hate your job? What about it?
It's the toll it takes on my body. It's just, and then it's nothing changes. Like,
Same thing every day.
yeah, you like the problems within the department. You can't make a difference. You can't make a change for the better. It's just the same. Like, you have no voice. I work for a multi-billion-dollar organization. Like, they don't listen to the little man. Like, and so, and like I was talking to the parents, right? And they're saying, like, if mechanics find an easier way of doing something at work, that there's a process to get your way put in front of, like, directors and like managers and all of this, right? For a change to be implemented. There's none of that. I bring up a problem, and right, so there's a saying, if you're gonna bring up a problem, bring a solution, right? So I bring the problem and the solution, and it's just, oh well, that's just the way it is. Nothing changes.
Mm.
And so it's just one of those things where, like,
You're just stuck in that ridiculous loop.
yeah. And so it's the same BS over and over and over again, and I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired of it. Like, and now I'm in a situation where backup plans are postponed until further notice as of now. You know what I mean? And so I'm in a position where I can't win for losing.
Mm. So since you hate your job, have you thought of going to new jobs? Like, is there anything else that is in mind?
So that's the thing is, I've built up this resume over the last 5 years, and right now it's unusable because of the situation I'm in.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And so now it's like, where do I go? What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've built up this resume for 5 years, and I have nothing. I can't do anything with it. Like, and so now there's the question of school and all of this, and so. But me and school don't mix. Like, I'm just.
I hear that.
And so, most likely it would be like technical college. That's what, and this is the whole thing, right? Is the whole project we're working on, right? That's a stepping stone. Like, that's step one, right? And so I've enjoyed that entire process, truly, like, to the point where it hasn't even felt like work. And so now I'm at the point where maybe that is what I want to do. Maybe I work, and there's no offense to you, and I don't want you to take it like that. Maybe I work with other people too, and maybe I present stuff to other people too, and I build that resume and that portfolio too, and I get multiple projects going and fill my time that way. But again, time is money, money is time.
Yeah.
And so,
and surrounding yourself with with people that do what you want to do is what's going to make you grow too. So I would never just settle with me, even if even if you feel like it offends me or something like or anything on the lines of it.
No,
always,
I don't. Go ahead.
Always have just talk to different people. You know what I mean? You find out they do the same craft, pick their brain a little bit because you learn something from that conversation too. And that's why my main guy is Troy. You know, that's usually the person I go to if I have any questions. But I don't just stop at him. You know what I mean? I get other opinions as well from different people like Jay Real, Angelo Garibaldi with Humble Greatness Studios, and even just a photographer. I mean, just because it's similarities and differences. There's things that I could definitely get pointers on from a photographer for videography. Like it still kind of works in the same world.
Yeah, like even if I found well, I don't know how much information we're putting out on this project. Even if I could sit down with someone who, not even sit down, right? If I just found somebody who had a project, a similar project, and just asked to even shadow them, kind of, and pick their brain that way. Even to just sit and observe and just watch, ask questions as like, you know what I mean? While someone's working on a project, it'd just be cool, man. And I think I'd be able to absorb a lot of knowledge. We were looking at houses this weekend, and with Mom's real estate agent, and I think I could sell houses.
Yeah.
I think I'm very personable. I can, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think I have that good, like
salesman
yeah.
kind of vibe.
Well, not even salesman, like that. Houses sell themselves, man.
Yeah, true.
Like, that's the truth. You're either gonna like it or you don't.
Yeah.
But like, if you're going to a real estate agent, you're obviously looking.
Yeah.
And so, just one of those things where, I don't know, man. I'm really trying to figure it out, man.
Mm-hmm.
And as a real estate agent, you make your own schedule. So if I was doing that while also working on projects or whatever else, it'll all balance out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Troy would definitely be the guy to talk to, because he's one of the few. I mean, there's a dude named Dre also that I didn't mention. I just started getting in contact with him, but he's also a videographer in the city. But Troy, I would definitely get in touch with. I can introduce you guys, and like I said, we're planning on working on another movie anyways. So I could definitely throw your name in there, like, hey, like he wants to come and watch and learn this stuff. I'm 100% sure he'd be like, yeah, that's cool, because he used the extra set of hairs, you know what I mean? And then not only that, if you don't want to get hands on yet, then just being there, you can help with whatever, like set up a scene or something like that, you know what I mean? There's always a bunch of different things to learn, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, we can definitely do that.
I'd always be down to just taking that information, man, because seriously, because he's a director, right?
Yep.
Or he does videography.
Yeah. He's a director / filmmaker.
Okay.
And / videographer. Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it'd be like, I don't know, man. Just pick his brain, just kind of, and be able to just walk through and just see like how he operates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and then you can always apply that to other projects and kind of even sit with them and look at the business aspect of things, like of the movie industry, because I'm sure. Because when you do movies, right, you have each movie is their own company technically.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So each movie is their own company, right? So you have your parent company, and then each of those have each movie has its own company where it brings its own revenue to the main company, right? Or the parent company. Mm-hmm. And so kind of just sitting down with him and learning how like funding works and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so then you.
Like budgeting and all that.
Yeah, budgeting, investors, stuff like that, because like movies aren't made for free, obviously.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It all costs in some way. So like how do you go about that? How do you walk in? And obviously, I'm not completely dumbfounded when it comes to it. Like, I know some things, like you can get business loans and stuff like that, which each company and stuff like that. But how do you break down how much a movie's going to cost? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, here's this scene. Like, what are the little things that, besides equipment, right? Because the equipment's going to be the one thing you buy, and it'll last you for 10 projects, quote unquote. Like, I'm not more than that, but you know what I'm saying? And so, how for each individual scene are you calculating how much this is going to cost? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's, and I could just tell you little stuff right off the bat, just from thinking about that. Like, for a scene, all right, you got to think of everything that you want in the scene, what kind of shots you're going to take, what's going to be in those shots, how you want the shots to look. So you're thinking of like decorations, you know what I mean? Like the place might not look how you want it, but you can make it the way you want. You know what I mean? Just from having that creative mindset and just decorating the place to where you like it to be. Just like what the apartment scene that we talked about for our project. Just like we could find an apartment, and then if it's cool with whoever, we could decorate it the way that we want. You know what I mean?
Owning that space, taking
right,
over,
yeah,
making it yours.
Yep. So just decorations one, and then whatever, obviously equipment, and then whatever equipment you don't have. You know what I mean? And then just like, I don't know, just like those are really the two things that I have in mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like equipment, and that goes for camera gear, lighting, you know, all that stuff. And then decoration, setting up the scene, and then funding as far as like food too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we're gonna feed people, you know, we gotta calculate the cost of that, and just different stuff like that. Man.
Yeah, man. It's just to watch the process. Like, that's really what it is, to just watch the process. It's one thing to sit here and talk about it and take in knowledge, like verbally or anything like that. But it's a different thing to sit there and watch it happen and be in a situation where they're like, oh, here, hop in and do this. And then they're teaching you hands-on type of thing. You know what I mean? And so, like, you got to think about it. I don't think I know anybody. Well, actually, I take that back. But I'm not. I spent the last 5 years in an entirely different field. Like, there's nothing cross references in this situation. So I've spent 5 years on a building a resume that doesn't matter in this field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it truly doesn't. Nobody cares. Like, oh wow, you've been deployed. You did this, and this, and this. Doesn't matter here.
Right.
So it's kind of now I'm starting over and starting late.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not late, but I mean, you just didn't get in early.
Yeah, not as early as I would have wanted. Like this, if I would have chased this sooner, I'd been further ahead. Think about where you would be at 23 years old, starting at 18.
Right. Yeah.
And so now I'm maybe not late for every, like I said, like average, but late for me. Like, this is like, I'm very like, all right, this is where I want to be. This is where I should be.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's get there. How do we get there?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yep. And not rushing the process.
Right.
So I could have had 5 years of not rushing the process, 5 years of just taking in knowledge and experience and kind of learning. And we'd be here and I'd be able to knock out a project quickly, quicker than I can now, because now I'm learning and taking in knowledge while working on the project. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always here too. When I'm working with like Troy and stuff like that, people would ask me how old I was and things like that, and I tell them when I was working with Troy a lot, I was probably like 19, 20. So they would be like, "Wow, like you're young, like you started at a good time." You know what I mean? And that's the way to be, and that's what you were explaining. Like, you started in the military like at 18, right?
Yep.
So you got that early jump in it, and not a lot of people, take off into their career right out the gate, and some people start earlier than that. You know what I mean? So it's just the point of getting to where you want to be, like you said, and following that process. And it's good that you don't rush the process, because the process is very important. You know what I mean? It also goes into like character development, things like that, like what you went through to get to this point, how much you cherish it more. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that goes into like your like how much you value it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just means that much more.
Yeah, I think knowing, and this is the truth, right? I can speak about both of us, right? Knowing us, we both have the determination to make it, right? We are and that's why I asked you what happens if you move in and it's not what you thought it was, right? Well, I just come back here and keep doing it, right? And I'm sure if it didn't work out in one place, you'd move to another place. Like, you'd find whatever space you can build that clientele and find that clientele and climb your way to the top. And so where do I go from here, and how do I get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That switch.
Or where am I going, and how do I get there? I should say.
Mm. Shoot, start with me. You have a connection right now.
Yeah.
You can just shadow me on whatever projects I have going on. You know what I mean?
And I'll do it, man.
Yeah. And then you could learn stuff just from that, like how I set up my equipment or why I do this, why I'm shooting in like this ISO, this like the shutter speed and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could learn the basics from me, and then you can climb up just from like going to different people. You know what I mean? And learn different stuff from them too.
Yep. And that's my problem, right? I have a very, I 100%. If you want to grow, you have to be able to admit where you're lacking, right?
Mm.
I can paint you a scene, right? We were just sitting here doing it, and I was painting the scene perfectly. This is what we're going to do. Boom, 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 boom. All right, this is where we're going to go from there. All right, I can paint the scene. I can give you the story. I can do it all. I can give you the picture in my head, but I can't apply it, right? And so where I'm at now, I'd have to have a crew. Like, I'd have to be able to tell somebody what I want, and
them get it done.
yes, and them get it done. So I'm 100% in the position of just director. Of this is what I want. Okay, all right. We're gonna pull the camera. We're gonna widen the shot here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, lighting on all this. I have people for that. Like, I have people for sound. Like, I don't have to. I'm in a position where I know. Actually, I do know about the sound, and that's only from this, right? And I learned a lot about like lighting and stuff like that from doing this. But as a project as big as what we're doing, 100%, I'm just gonna take in information, right? I can voice the picture I have in my head, and the one thing I like is we both have that. We both have a common picture. Like when I wrote this entire thing, you saw my picture, and then like you thought of things in a different way, but also a similar. And and I didn't tell you what I had pictured.
Right,
you were
yeah.
explaining to me what I already pictured. So I'm like, that's exactly what I had in mind right there.
Right, yeah.
And so that's one thing about it. Like, what I noticed as we've been going through the motions is, like, our creative minds are similar. Not exactly the same. They'll never be exactly the same with anybody, but they're similar. Like, and so, man,
and then the best way to grow is find someone with a different creative mind.
Someone who will challenge you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you guys think completely different. Damn, I would have never thought of that. You know what I mean? It's crazy that like your mind worked that way, and that's why working with Real Goats, or I guess it would be like Black Screen Productions. That's their like production crew for like promos and like commercial kind of thing. You know what I mean? But Real Goats is more on the music video industry of it. But it's still the same like directors and stuff like that. But working with Black Screen Productions, I was, I think I'd say I'm confident in the basics, but I'm like still so green to all the other stuff. So even I got to work with a dude that's my age, 21 years old, and he was the cinematographer. He was able to, obviously there was a director, there was a creative director, and then there was him as a cinematographer, and all three of them worked together to get the project done.
So go through that again. There's a director, a creative director, and then a cinematographer.
Yes.
What is the difference between the three?
So the director is basically he tells he directs everything. He explains what he wants, how he wants it done, you know what I mean? And he figures out what we're going to do to achieve it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The creative director adds more like life into it. Like, okay, this is the scene that he wants. Let's throw in like these props. Let's throw in these decorations, or let's like he makes the scene come to life.
Setting the scene.
Yeah. And then he takes those thoughts and he tells the artist, like I forgot the name of it, but there's a group of like ladies or men, whatever, that is set exactly for setting the scenes and getting decorations and like wardrobe and
Like a
stuff
prop
like
master?
that. Yeah. So he gives those instructions. I want this. This is what I want it to look like. Like, and I need it done by this time. You know what I mean? And then they go off and get it done. You know what I mean? And that's his role as a creative director. And the cinematographer, he's the cameraman, really. So he holds the cameraman. He knows what shots he wants. He knows what the shot's supposed to look like. He knows what kind of lighting he's supposed to get. And I had the privilege to hang around him throughout the whole thing. Obviously, I was around them all, but I was his right hand man through practically the whole project. So just listening to him speak and explain what scene he wants. So with the like, okay, for lighting, we have a group here called Kansas Grip. Have you ever heard of them? So they have a lot of equipment, and it's a lot more than you think than just lighting. They have like poles, obviously extension cords. They have dollies, you know what I mean, different stuff like that. And they called them out. The cinematographer at my age, 21 years old, would be able to tell that the lighting group, hey, I need this specific light. I want like this specific temperature. I want like 39,000 Kelvin, you know what I mean? Like spot on. Like how do you know all this? You know what I mean? Like it was like mind blowing and like just like inspiring to see like at the same age where I'm like this big of a difference of like knowledge, you know what I mean, in the field. And that's what got him into like getting into black screen productions and working with Real Goats at such a young age. And it's like it really pushes you to like get to that level, like to know what equipment like you want, even just higher end production equipment, and like being able to tell other people that specialize in that kind of job what Kelvin of light and things like that you want to see. So just working like that.
So what made you go freelance instead of like into a like already established company?
So I did freelance because that gave me the option to build up like the experience on my own for a little bit, get my feet wet, you know what I mean, and just like learn things on my own. Now I just talked to a production company here. They focus on more of the sports side, like sports broadcasting is basically what they specialize in. And obviously as I've done different things, I have a liking to sports videography and things like that. So I've done basketball and football, like recaps, mixtapes, and stuff like that. So I wanted to figure out how I could get more into that field. So I heard through the grapevine about this company that helped this freelance videographer get to like filming in the NFL for a few games. You know what I mean? So I definitely wanted to get into that, so I reached out to them and was like, hey, I heard through this guy like that you guys were able to do this for him. I wanna get under you guys' wing and work with you guys for a while and then maybe get to that level as well. So he emailed me back and was like, hey, and obviously I sent him some of my work. He was like, I like the work, you know, let's get a phone call set up and let's just like talk about like what the production team is and talk about what you do and why you're interested in it. Explain to me more about what they do. And yeah, he said he worked with Wichita State, Emporia, you know. He said Coke Arena too, like for like ice hockey, you know what I mean? Like hockey, they do football, basketball, softball, like just different stuff like that. And they do the broadcasting. So he was like, is there any job position that you like, you know, are interested in, things like that? Or did you just want to be on the camera? And I was like, I mainly want to work on the camera so I can grab more experience there. But I'm definitely like willing to learn all the other positions as well, so that way I can get further experience in that too. And he was like, okay, that sounds good. He was like, well, here's what we could do. I can get you on at a like student level rate, and he said it was like $16 an hour or something like that. And then the moment that I see like you're confident in what you're doing, I'll boost you up to the starting rate, which is like $22 an hour or something like that. So I was like, okay, cool, that sounds good. He was like, now I don't want to forget you. Like, we don't have anything going on right now because it's summer, but as soon as August starts back up, like football and things like that will be coming back up. So shoot me an email at the beginning of August, so I make sure I get you in on the roster, stuff like that. And he was like, if you can't make it on the schedule, then that's cool. Just shoot me an email and we can find someone else to fill in on that day, you know what I mean, or that night. And it's really just about getting just make sure everybody like is like has an equal like amount of time, because like everybody wants to do this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just making sure that I'm fitting you in as much as I can, you know. So yeah, that was a cool phone call there. And so
that's working for their production company.
yeah.
You're not freelancing for them. You're working
Right.
for them.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I brought it up, because I'm about to start doing a little bit of both, so that way I can see what it's like to work under a company. You know what I mean? So I think I like the freedom of being a freelance videographer. You know what I mean?
So
And then it feels less like work.
yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my question, right? I think so. You're working towards like cinematography, right?
Mm.
Is that what you like your end goal?
Well, yeah, and that's also why I want to do freelance, because I don't want to just stick to one category. I like to do a bunch of different things, and that's why I go by videographer / filmmaker, because I like doing both. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I want to learn both realms,
Okay.
and yeah,
No, 'cause I was just asking because like if you were like a movie production, sorry,
there you go.
a movie production team reached out to you and wanted to have you full time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, for multiple projects,
Mhm.
would you do that? Like
It
if you worked
depends.
under a director, or is your goal to be the director and the cinematographer?
It depends. I would love to hop on board with that, but I have so many things I have to think about. Like, is it going to take up all my time from the kids, and you know what I mean, from my family? And then would me working under them be able to support my family like my job is right now? You know what I mean? So to work for them full time right now, I'm working full time at Spirit, of course, and then I have my production company as part-time kind of right now, wherever I can get it to fit in. And my full-time job is supporting my family well, you know what I mean? So I wanted to be able to, just like I would with my production company, I wanted to be able to like flip and, you know what I mean, have that supported instead, or the same or more, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where my head would be at that proposal right there. And I mean, shoot, even if we're in a position to where Savannah would be carrying the house for a little bit, to where I can gain that experience, you know what I mean, and then work my way up to where I'm at a point where I am supporting how I was, and then she can go back down and like figure out her craft, you know what I mean, and then work her way back up. So
And that's just my curiosity of like, or like what as in what is your end goal? Is your end goal to have your own like full production company where you're leading these productions, or where you are within the production? You get what I'm saying? With you, as in like, are you behind that camera, or are you like directing?
I think both.
Okay.
Because the fun for me is working with the camera. So that's where I wanted to. That's where it all started. You know what I mean? That like having that want to pick up the camera and shoot different things. So I would definitely grab my production team. You know what I mean? And have them like, all right, we get a client, like this is the production for it, this is the budget. I grab a group of people in my production team, have them go shoot that, and then if same for different clients, things like that, and then whichever ones I feel like I want part in, or that I feel like is like more exciting to me or something like that, I'll go out there and I'll shoot, I'll get hands on with the project and things like that.
Yeah.
And then it also depends on the level of project, you know what I mean? Like a lower budget project with like a local group of people, or a higher end project with like a celebrity or something like that, I'd go here, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So is your goal to bring in photographers into your production team later on? Like, obviously you don't want to do photography, right?
Yeah.
But do you have the goal of bringing in photographers?
I definitely could, yeah, because I mean, Lake Productions right now, it's a videography company, but if I have the ability to later on, why not? You know what I mean? People love photographers, and then at the end of the day, they're still going to be like, wow, like I can go to Lake Productions. They do both. You know what I mean? And even if I don't want to specialize in both, I have a team now, so we can have the option. So yeah, I would definitely add photography into there too.
Perfect. And with that being said, this has been an episode
of Brotherly Beliefs. Thank you guys for tapping in with this episode, man. Let us know if you guys like this chat, if you guys thought of any different things that you guys would like to chase for a dream, or if you guys want to get in the film industry, or what kind of industry that you like to get into, you know what I mean? Check out all of our socials. Check out our Facebook. Check out our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you know what I mean? And our TikTok on the way. But thank you guys so much for tapping in. With that being said,
until next time,
catch you guys later.